Hello everybody and welcome to Toitū Curator's Corner. Well, it's a dreary old lockdown Sunday in Dunedin as I make this recording, but here's another bite-sized take on early Dunedin history from Toitū's historic collection of photographs to give you something else to think about. And remember to check the description if you'd like a copy of any of them for yourself. Today's focus is on the Bell Hill block, from Princes Street up the hill behind, as seen in another section of William Mallowish's 1865 panorama. Mallowish took his photograph from the roof of Mrs. Muir's Bedford House boarding establishment. That's a vantage point we can't replicate today, but this view is close enough to give you an idea of what we're talking about. I found a reference in 1862 that called this Moray Hill, though that name doesn't seem to have stuck. Nonetheless, it's not a bad description of what we're looking at here. A number of significant buildings in this photograph were more or less brand new at this point. The Congregational Church at the corner of Moray Place and View Street, for example, opened for worship in July 1864. The synagogue just above it was consecrated soon after, in September of that year. The Wesleyan Church over at the top of Dowling Street was a little bit older, having opened in June 1862, but the fire bell tower peeking over its roof dates from the following year, 1863. Further up the hill we can see St Joseph's, the first Catholic church in Dunedin, which held its first services just after the Wesleyans, also in July 1862, and right below it we can just see the roof of the brand new Dunedin High School, which opened for business at the end of July 1864. Now look at the block of new shops all along Princes Street at the foot of the hill. The most notable of these is no doubt Henry Farley's set of 3 double-storied terrace premises erected in mid-1863, Farley's buildings as they became known. The largest of them included a well-lit hall in its upper level that in October 1864 was taken over by the Otago Provincial Council for its deliberations. They only met here for 2 years, but in that period all the most significant decisions taken in Otago were debated here. Meanwhile, just beside it, we can see signage for the Dunedin Savings Bank. This had also just opened in September 1864 and offered a secure place for canny pioneers to keep their savings. Now let's jump 10 years further on to this panorama taken by the Burton brothers, this time from the spire of First Church around 1874. It's not exactly the same view, of course, but we can check some changes on Moray Hill in a decade. The Wesleyans have abandoned their exposed site up on Dowling Street. It proved too windy for a lofty wooden structure. They rebuilt in stone in 1869 at the corner of Moray Place and Stewart Street. Yep, that's what became the Fortune Theatre. All the other buildings we looked at in 1865 are still there in 1874 though. The Congregational Church has simply added some steps to its front entrance. 3 of them survive, in fact, right to the present. Rare survivors from the 1860s in modern Dunedin. These true old-time buildings are the Congregational Church, now called Chapel Apartments, the Moray Place Synagogue, which has had lots of uses and names since the Jewish congregation moved out in 1881, and perhaps most surprisingly, Farley's buildings on Princes Street. They're hardly recognisable, I know, since their facades were butchered in the early 20th century to look more modern. But they really are from the 1860s, and probably the oldest shops in Dunedin's main street. Check them out the next time you can walk along Princes Street.